Welcome to day number 8 of the Maker Advent Calendar. Today we're going to open up box number 8. So let's see what's inside there. So we have a waterproof temperature sensor with male jumper wires and a 4.7K resistor and some extra male-to-male jumper wires. Today we'll use our temperature sensor to measure the ambient temperature in your home. Then move on to more exciting projects like sensing liquid temperature and creating an alarm to let you know when your home is getting too cold. The sensor in your box is a custom version of our popular waterproof temperature sensor. The metal tip houses the sensor inside and is sealed with a length of wire, allowing you to dunk this into water and other liquids to check the temperature. We've added male jumper wires to this version to make it easier to use with a breadboard too. So what is OneWire? OneWire is a serial communication protocol for devices to communicate to a controller. Despite its name, you actually need at least 2 wires to use OneWire devices, and in some examples, we're using 3 wires. The name is related to the data communication. You only need 1 wire to allow the devices to talk to each other both ways. So let's get started and construct a circuit. We're once again going to use the LEDs and buzzer along with the temperature sensor. So remove the PIR circuit from yesterday, leaving just the LEDs and buzzer on the main breadboard. Your starting circuit should look like this. Okay, so let's remove these and remove the PIR sensor. So now to add the temperature sensor to the mini breadboard. Your sensor should have 3 wires, red, yellow and white. Place the wires into the top edge of the mini breadboard in the order white, yellow, red as per the image. So we're going to go white, yellow, red. Next, add the resistor to connect the yellow and red wires in the same way we show below. Okay. Now we need to add 3 wires to complete the circuit and connect the sensor to our Pico. Connect the left leg to our blue ground lane. So our left leg is the white one, and that goes to our blue ground lane. Connect the middle leg to GPIO 26, which is our physical pin number 31. And connect the right leg to the 3.3 volt on physical pin number 36. Your circuit should look similar to this. Activity 1, simple temperature sensing. The sensor relies on some new imports that do a lot of hard work for us, the OneWire library and the DS18 x 20 library. Luckily, these are now built into MicroPython, so we don't need to worry about downloading anything. So, the OneWire code. We set up the sensor's pin as an input, as we've done before with other sensors. However, using this particular OneWire sensor requires some extra code to get it working. We have to tell MicroPython that we're using a OneWire DS18 B20 sensor with the following line in our code. We also need to scan for OneWire devices on the GPIO pin we have set up. OneWire devices, such as our sensor, have a unique registration number in their read-only memory. The following line in our code below scans for sensors connected to our pin. We then use a while loop, which contains a for loop. We used a for loop yesterday with the motion sensor when using the range function. but this time our range will be ROMs. The for loop is saying, for every ROM I find, do this. The code then converts the sensor's temperature reading to centigrade and then prints this whilst also adding the centigrade symbol to the end of it. The code commentary should make everything clear, so give it a try. So let's copy over the code, paste it into Thonny, plug in our Pi, stop and start the service. So the temperature that it's picking up in the room today is 18.37, so 18.3. Okay, activity number 2. Now that we have the basics covered, let's use these readings to drive our LEDs to give us visual indication of the temperature. The example below adds our LEDs back in and uses a while loop with multiple if statement conditions to drive the LEDs depending on the temperature. Red if it goes below 18 degrees, amber if it's a comfortable 18 to 22 degrees, and green if it's over 22 degrees. We've covered while loops, if statements, if, elif, and ranges in the previous boxes, so the code in this example should feel very familiar. Grab a few cups of water at different temperatures, no boiling water, and try dipping the waterproof end of the sensor into each one, watching the readings change and the different LEDs light up. Keep the Pico end of things as far away as possible. Water and electronics aren't the best of friends. So let's copy the code, paste it into Thonny, stop and start the script again. So it's going to wait 5 seconds and then it's going to give us a reading of the temperature. So it's 18 degrees. So if the reading is less than or equal to 18, then the red LED will remain on. If the reading is between 18 and 22 degrees, then the amber LED will go on. And if the reading is greater than or equal to 22 degrees, then the green LED will go on. So as you can see, the red LED is currently showing because it's equal to 18 degrees. If I hold onto the sensor now, then the temperature will start to go up. And now the LED, you can see, has gone to amber because it's gone over and is now between 18 and 22. If that goes to over 22 degrees now the green LED will come on. Activity 3, temperature alarm. We can now introduce our buzzer along with an alarm function in our code again to make a fun temperature alarm project. Whilst yesterday's motion sensor alarm project is great for spotting people moving in the area, this alarm can be used to keep an eye on the temperature in a specific room area. Most of us have thermostats in our homes, but there's great fun to be had creating your own temperature sensing alarm project to monitor a specific area, be it for your own health or monitoring the environment for plants and pets. The alarm example below is similar to yesterday's motion alarm. Using alarm function to light the LEDs and sound the buzzer when the temperature goes below 18 degrees. Change the 18 to whatever is relevant for your project scenario. We've added as many comments as possible to help remind you what each section is doing. So let's copy, paste the code, stop and start the script. So it's now picking up a temperature of 20 degrees Celsius. And because this is still within our range of 18 and 22, then Okay, so what we've got in here is if the reading is less or equal to 18, then it will start our alarm function. So the temperature sensor is cooling down right now, and I've changed the setting to 19, and once it goes less than 19, then the alarm will go off on our project. So because our reading is less than 19, it started our alarm. So it'll wait 5 seconds and then it will test the temperature again. And if it's still below 19, it will flash and sound the buzzer again. So another day, another component completed. You now have a temperature sensor in your growing arsenal of parts to make projects with, and we're sure you use this one time and time again. As you're probably starting to realize, a lot of these sensors and components are coded in very similar ways. Sometimes we need the help of imported libraries, sometimes we need resistors, additional hardware, but the fundamental way we write the code for them with loops, if statements and variables is pretty consistent. So what did we cover today? We've covered how to build a circuit with a temperature sensor. We've learned how to use a temperature sensor with MicroPython and the Pico. We've used your first one-wire component and one-wire library, created a temperature monitor and temperature alarm system, and learned more about loops. Keep the circuit safe, and we'll see you again tomorrow for day number 9.